Okay, it's December 29th. I'm in Florida. I'm in Orlando Auto Lounge. I've just purchased this car. It's going to be shipped in the next week or so. I'm doing a video just because it's always nice to document the condition of a car when you purchased it and when it's being put, before it's being put on the wonderful truck to be transported. Actually a pretty reasonable deal. $700 for transportation. A lot safer than driving a car of this vintage, which of course would be 1,200 miles. It probably gets 25 miles to the gallon on a good day. So we're looking at some serious fuel consumption. 50 gallons of fuel ballpark, 40 gallons, which is $80, which is no big deal. But then you have to worry about suddenly a fluid leak or a belt that breaks. And then you're stuck in Podunk, USA on a Saturday night with a car that has to go to a Mercedes dealer. And pretty soon you're looking at waiting until Monday morning when they get the car in the repair bay. Then they have to order a part, and the part takes 3 days, and then they fit the part, and you discover that you could have purchased that part potentially for $100. And not that the Mercedes dealer doesn't deserve making money. I'm not saying that. I'm just suggesting that spending $400 for a repair that could have been done for a fifth the price by yours truly makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to try to save the transportation fee and then end up spending 5 times as much and spending a week on the road getting something done that you could have saved all the trouble from if you had just put it on a truck and moved it commercially. Of course, like all used Mercedes, it comes with one key. The challenge in Wisconsin, of course, is getting a title for an out-of-state car. Because being government workers, they do love to find reasons not to work. And COVID-19 is a perfect reason not to work. So, check the tranny fluid. Looks pretty clean, looks full. I checked the engine oil. It was down 1.5 quarts. They put it in before I drove it, which is fine. The car starts up just fine. Yeah. And check the coolant level. It's good to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it gets to Wisconsin, we won't have a block being broken. The ABC fluid, a little funky. And the brake fluid looks good. You know, it needs fluids and all that other cool stuff. But like I said, I'm just documenting the current condition. So there's a mishap during transportation. I have proof that the car was in pretty good shape. Now, the nice thing about a 2003 and later AMG 55 is that, oh, a little scratch there, is that the paintwork on them is much better than the pre-2003s. They went to a different base paint system. So the end result is you don't get as much rust. Because these historically have rusted here, around the wheel well arches, and remarkably enough, they've rusted in the gas cap filler lid. And this one is mainly dirty. I don't see a lot of rust, just a lot of dirt. It's got the usual broken strap, which is normal for a car that's 17 years old. This is functionally the twin of the car at home. The wheels definitely need to be replaced or refinished. Kind of be expected for a car with 100,000 miles and 6 different owners. Yeah. Tires in the rear are a little thin. But this is kind of a burnout queen. Mirrors look good. Front lights, pretty good. Remarkably enough, that one's clearer than the right one. Oh, that light's on. I better turn it off before the battery goes kapooey. That's off, I think. Yeah, it's off. It is missing its push rubber there. The trunk does not open hydraulically because there's no fluid in the pump. Got to figure out why there's no fluid in the pump. Yeah, that's life. The doors work well. Car looks good. I headed up on a lift here at Orlando Auto Lounge with Tesh, one of the mechanics. It's definitely got a leak somewhere in this part of the engine. All old Mercedes leak. Side view mirror is good. Handles are good. Not missing any pieces. Paintwork looks good there. This area here is a little pushed out. I think it may be because the hydraulic is there. Not 100% sure. Have to figure that out. But ultimately, this is sort of a parts car. It's here to feed one of two cars, itself or the S55, its twin, its brother from a different mother. This one is 3 months older than the other S55. They're essentially identical, mechanically, computer-wise, all that stuff. And I thought actually I got it for 11 too. I thought, that's a lot of parts for a 17-year-old car. And it can be used to feed the other car, should I want to keep it running for 10, 20 years. And all these parts, if they're never used, can actually be sold. Not for the price of the car, but certainly, if the other one gets a door ding or something, well, I've got a door. It's the exact same color exterior, and it's the exact same interior. And the good thing is, it's all in good shape. I don't see any rust or any major signs of rust, which is good. These guys were good in helping me find transportation company. Hopefully can pick it up in the next week. $700, that's a deal. God, I remember spending $1,000 or $1,200 to have a vehicle moved. Yeah, cars are not cheap. Anybody who tells you they're cheap simply hasn't owned a car. Looks like it's under, the rubber's still good. Interior's still good. I'll have to talk to Dave if he can fix some of the hardness on that seat, which obviously has 100,000 miles of driving time in it. I suspect Dave can do anything. The trim is good. It's not really faded. Only thing that really is faded is sort of this lens, but that's sort of the way it goes. Other than that, it looks pretty darn good. It's a pretty tight car. There's some fluid leaks, but like as always, that's what you expect with a car that's 17 years old. And it is an old car. Nice thing is, God, this interior in the areas that hasn't been used is simply mint. Yeah. So I was lucky to find it. Body match, exterior color, and interior parts. Yeah. This will make somebody a very nice car, a very nice parts car. Probably need a couple of $1,000s worth of work. Engine being pulled, gasket seals being replaced to stop the leaks. See if there's a spun bearing, check the supercharger, change the oil. It'll all be good. So life is good. Mission accomplished. Was a bit of a pain in the rear. But if you look at buying cars as being an adventure, then this is an adventure. I have checked all the inside areas, no signs of damage, no Bondo, no distorted frame, all the original labels that you would expect. So the end result appears to be a good solid car. It just wants some money given to it. All it wants is money, but that's true for any car. Yep, a little work on that driver's seat. Fix the right headlamp so the low beam works. Figure out what that is. The trunk. Get the wheels cleaned up. Life is good. So that's about it. I'm gonna find a hotel. I'm tired. I've been up since 4 this morning, and a flight and test driving and looking at this car while it was on a lift. Got to give these guys credit at Orlando Auto Lounge. I asked something like, hey, can we put it on a lift? And they said, not a problem. So you got to respect it. They do have a C8 inside, a blue one. God, I wonder who can buy a car like a C8 and just 6 months later or less sell it. Wow. I wonder how much they'll jack up the price on that car. And they should. It's a highly sought after car. They only made like 20,000 this year because of COVID and a strike. Yeah. So I'm pleased. I think this turned out to be a good buy. Time will tell. It'll sit up in Wisconsin. I'll get the battery all tuned up. And in 3 months, this will come out. We'll have its little fluids changed, maybe even sooner than that if the house gets done. And yeah, body's really tight. I mean, I think I see one potential ding right here. Yeah, it's very subtle. You can sort of see it right there. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. It's easily worth what I paid for it. So, given that it was a over $100,000 car 17 years ago, getting it for 11 something, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, it's old technology, I get that. It does have an aux cable in it. So I think somebody actually went to the trouble of putting an aux cable in, which may mean it can go Bluetooth on me someday. Yeah, this is much better than the Bring a Trailer car I got. Oh yeah, much better. But I learned a lesson with the Bring a Trailer. Never buy a car you haven't physically inspected, or never buy a car that you haven't sent to a competent, independent mechanic who can look it over and go, yeah, hasn't been wrecked, looks solid, there's leaks here, here, and here. I'm not saying I'm a mechanic now, but I think I have the ability to look at a car and go, yeah, it looks pretty good. You can see the ding right there. I assume paintless dent removal will take care of that, should I be so inclined. So this will be a fun car. And if it isn't a fun car, I can sell it, get the money I put into it out of it, enjoy the car for a period of time, and have two identical rockin' Mercedes. And you can tell this is a 2003. This is the upgraded one because it has multiple clear horizontal lenses back there. And this one isn't cracked like my Bring a Trailer one is. Yeah, it looks good. It does have its issues. All cars that are 17 years old have issues. But what do you expect? It's not a new car. And I do like the style. I really do. There's something about this car that's got that sort of subdued sedan Mercedes look. It's got a supercharger. It's got the beautiful Mercedes crest there. It's the way an S-Class should be. But I'm old school. So I'm going to head off to a hotel. I've done enough recording and walking to document the exterior condition of this vehicle before its transportation. So should there be a debate, question, or concern about pre-existing or not, we have it documented. Oh, I better get this thing insured. Oh God. All right. Hope everybody's having a good day. Bye.